Hello, how you doing? Isn't this a beautiful place? Quite extraordinary. I'm teaching near here today, so I thought I'd take advantage of driving nearly 2 hours to come to a nice beautiful place. And down there are some caves. In fact, there's a church, there's a hermitage down there with amazing paintings inside. And when you see somewhere like this, you think, oh my God, how did I get to be here in this most beautiful place? Well, in fact, that is actually this week's topic. We're going to actually ask the question is, how did you come to be where you are now? What crucial event way back meant that you are here now and not somewhere else? Let's find out more.
What moment changed your life forever? The film Sliding Doors follows the two possible lives of Gwyneth Paltrow's character after she misses a train during a stressful day. It's an interesting study of how life can pivot on moments that don't seem important at the time. We tend to imagine turning points as grand cinematic events: the job offer, the plane ticket, the signature on a contract. Yet often, the real beginnings of our stories hide in ordinary encounters, quiet choices, or, as in my case, a spontaneous cup of tea. Over 30 years ago, I bumped into an old friend from university who I hadn't seen in ages. Unknowingly, she lived just a couple of streets down the road from me, yet for whatever reason we had lost touch and we were both extremely surprised to see each other. She invited me round to her place for a cup of tea, mentioning that a common friend from the old days was staying with her for a few days. What a great chance to catch up on things. As we chatted over mugs of tea and coffee, our common friend described the fun she was having working as an English teacher in France, a job opportunity I had never heard of before. As I was bored with my job but clueless as what to do with my life, I grilled her for more information, and within weeks I had enrolled in a course to get a TEFL, Teaching English as a Foreign Language, qualification. That single decision that came from a chance encounter changed the entire course of my life. Fast forward a few years, I now live in a different country, speak a different language, work in a field I love, and feel a sense of belonging I had never imagined possible to a region I had never even heard of before I arrived here. Every so often, I find myself thinking back to that spontaneous cup of tea and ask myself, how far back do we have to go to find the moment that truly set our adult lives in motion? The question sounds simple, but it opens a dizzying philosophical rabbit hole. If I trace my life backwards from where I am now, I can follow a neat chain of cause and effect. I live here because I accepted a job. I got that job because of my qualification. I chose that qualification because of that cup of tea. But what led me to meet that friend in the first place? In very simple terms, it was because at the age of 18, I had chosen to go to the university in that city to study a particular degree. I had done that instead of finding a job, which had been my initial intention, because an older school friend had described his amazing new life at uni while we drank pints celebrating my 18th birthday. I was able to pay for those pints because I had saved money while doing a Saturday job in my local library that my mum had organized for me via a friend of hers. How did my mum become friends with her? What if there hadn't been a job available in the library? What if I had had no interest in books? What if? Philosophers call this long line of connected events the chain of causality, and it stretches back infinitely, perhaps even beyond our conscious control. Yet humans crave meaning. We look for defining moments, places where the story feels like it began. Maybe that's why we remember the spontaneous cup of tea more vividly than the countless mundane details that made it possible. The human mind is a storyteller. It draws circles around certain events and says this is where everything changed. In fact, the real story is a continuum, a river fed by 1,000 unseen streams. We can trace our steps as far back as we like, but there's always another influence hiding behind the last. What about the person who offered me my first teaching contract? What is her story of coincidences that led to our lives crossing? We can follow multiple threads if we wish, as far back as we wish, but we'll never reach an ultimate first cause. It's both intriguing and frightening to think that even the smallest, most ordinary actions can carry immense weight. An unplanned meeting or simply missing a train might be the hinges upon which entire futures turn. It's a reminder to treat the present moment with gentle awareness. We won't know which seemingly random encounter will reroute our destiny until the moment has passed. So, regardless of whether you believe in fate or free will, the next time a friend suggests a spontaneous coffee, or you find yourself hesitating before saying yes or no to something, remember, you might be standing at the invisible crossroads of your next great adventure. Chat about these questions and write down your opinions and ideas. Number 1. Describe the picture in as much detail as possible. Have you ever spoken in public? Number 2. Can you describe the events that led you to studying English right now? Number 3. Try to describe the events in your life that explain why you are where you are, doing what you do. Number 4. Describe what might have happened in your life if you had made different choices in the past. Number 5. Do you believe in fate or destiny, or do you think we have freedom of choice in what we do?